How's it going, fellas? Fez here, and as you can see in the video, NBA 2K17 is finally here. We finally get to play the game and not have to wait on Ronnie and LD2K and just wait on their words. We can actually experience the game for what it is for ourselves, and that's awesome. The game is good, fellas, overall, in my opinion, and we're going to be talking about it over the next few minutes. On the presentation, the gameplay, my career, my team. There'll be more in-depth reviews on those modes a little bit later, but let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is just the presentation, and the presentation is by far what they really focused on in this game. It looks amazing from the start of the game to the end of the game. Everything looks amazing. The crowds are so energetic and they get into the games, which is really a breath of fresh air. It's not just the same old crowds. It's not too different from the other ones, but you can definitely notice the changes. And just the pre-game itself, there's so much hype around the game with the players shooting around. There's even fans doing dunks and like on trampolines, or they might not be fans, but they're just people doing dunks, and it really brings the arenas alive. And that's what it really comes down to, because the arenas are great. They're vibrant, they're bright, they're colourful, and everything looks like an NBA 2K arena. Everything looks stunning. Like, that's one thing, as I said before, they've really focused on this, and it shows. The last thing I want to talk about with presentation is just the in-game graphics, and if you looked at the trailer, don't expect the game to look that good. It looks a little bit better than 2K16, the lighting's a bit better, the models are a little bit better, but nothing really remarkable. It's not really noticeable. It pretty much looks exactly the same as NBA 2K16, but as I've said numerous times, graphics isn't everything. You can only make a rock look so good. At the end of the day, it's still just the rock.
Well, he's part of those Warrior staff with those running gun Suns teams, so, you know, two of the most prolific offenses that we've ever seen in recent history.
Right now it's time to tip this thing off. Let's go courtside to Kevin Harlan.
By James. That's an excellent challenge.
Gameplay. And has anything actually really changed in the gameplay aspect of NBA 2K16 to 2K17? Yes and no. There's a lot of things that have changed for the better, and a lot of things that have stayed the same, which isn't really a good thing, but look, they're not going to change everything, so let's just talk about the good things that I've found in the gameplay of NBA 2K17. The first thing I want to say is just the rebounding and stealing has been overhauled, guys. It has changed completely. The rebounding is actually competitive. It's actually, you've got to get positions for players to get rebounds. It actually takes skill to box out a player and get the rebound. Same with the stealing. The stealing's changed a little bit. It's a little bit overpowered. I think it happens a bit too much, but the ball doesn't automatically go into opponent's hand after a steal, which is great. It actually deflects off the hand or off a leg and rolls along the ground or goes towards the sideline. It actually feels like a real steal, and the ball actually has its own movement instead of just being attached to a hand. Another thing that's been overhauled is the shot meter, and the shot meter needed an overhaul because you used to be open and still miss. Now you don't have to get right next to the line or whatever for an open shot to go in. You can still be pretty lenient for only open shots. If it's a contested shot, you still have to be on the money with that. But open shots has a bit more leeway with good shooters, which actually makes it fair and more realistic. Good shooters hit open shots. That's what they're there to do. That's why they're in the NBA. Timed layups are a pain in the ass at first, but you've really got to adjust to this, guys, because it's crucial, because you will miss not open layups, but any sort of contested layup. If you don't do a half decent timed layup, you will miss. You really need to look at it it's hard because there's a lot of bodies in the paint when you're going for a layup sometimes, and it's hard to see the shot meter. It's one bad thing about the timed layups. It's really hard to see the shot meter at times, but you've really got to get used to it, guys. If you want to be good at this game, you've got to get used to the timed layup. The last thing I want to talk about with the gameplay is just the AI, and it's so refreshing in this game to actually have AI that helps you. Defense, if you actually slack a little bit, they will actually rotate at right times and not rotate when they don't need to rotate. It's only early in the game, it's still just the honeymoon period, but there's still little exploits that will be found in this game, like all other 2Ks and like all games in general. But at this stage, the AI is solid. There's no real exploits that you can do that really can just bring out the team. The cutting to the basket now, holding triangle is gone. You bump off the ball now, so it's really hard to drive into the basket so off the ball, so it makes it really challenging.
It looked as though it sounded like we'll give you a 3 and then we'll take it right back. And here is Williams.
Don't be a tough guy about these things.
Even if I'm sick, have the flu.
My career's back this year, and I'll be doing a review on that and my team in a later video, but I'll just give you a quick overhaul of it. Be prepared to train a lot, guys. There's a lot of training involved. There's a lot of off-the-court involvement more than just playing the game. And I don't know whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on how long you play the game mode, but yeah, it drags on. I've only played a few games, and all the things are like the message systems are starting to get repetitive and stuff, but I'll talk about it in another video. It's not bad, the My Career mode. Let's go on to my team. My team, my favourite mode in NBA 2K altogether. Like, it's collecting cards and collecting your favourite players over eras, and in this one, it's no different. It's exactly the same, but they actually reward you players. Not so much MT, but they actually reward you players. Half decent players. Like, I haven't done much, and you can earn diamond players through domination. They actually reward you with players, and players are actually obtainable, good players with low ratings, and I'll talk about that in my team review. But overall, it's a solid mode, as I've seen, and
I'm in. Are you? Will return.
So, what's my final verdict on NBA 2K17? 2K, you've done alright, guys. The game looks great. It really brings the arenas to life, as I said before, and the gameplay is solid. It's very similar to 2K16, but there is improvements there that grow on the series. My team actually rewards players for playing the game, which is a change. You know, instead of getting amethysts, you're getting diamonds, which is good, and this is only the beginning. Hopefully they add more through challenges, and even add some new game modes, even add a new domination. Maybe do it again and get new rewards. My career, it's taken a different path, but I'm enjoying it. As long as the game doesn't get repetitive with all the messaging and all that sort of shit, we'll be alright. They've done well. I haven't got into my park yet, but I'm sure they've done well there. Overall, the game's fairly solid, guys. If you like NBA 2K games, you won't be disappointed. Anyway, fellas, I've talked and raved long enough. If you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch us later.